Ballad of Sea Swift. 30 mighty years. Ladies and gentlemen, the bushy at the water's edge stood tall and cast his gaze. Eternally inspired by the ocean and its ways, for well did he remember how his instinct had begun it. Yes, he reminisced the tide of where he'd been and how he'd done it. Across the waves, his memory did drift to that mesmerising moment when the sea began to shift. So swiftly did it shift that day, he rose above his fears, and the mothership delivered him, the mother of ideas. In a bid to back the battler with salt spray in their veins, the hopes and dreams of trawler teams in underdog domains, with his one and only vessel, digging deep and aiming high, he seized an opportunity. He focused on supply. The industry was struggling. Their call to arms was heeded. He bent his back. He had a crack. He gave them what they needed. Fuel and food to lift the mood, returning with their catch. And so the Gulf mob came to treasure this reliable dispatch, and business grew accordingly. Demand and other things, the whisper went along the line. The eagle spread its wings to the far remote communities, forgotten in the mix. The Sea Swift route was christened, and it soon became their fix. Then later in proceedings, it expanded with its stamp when the northern map exploded in a venture known as Champ. What started out in Cairns here delivered Darwin to its net. From Arakoon to New Mapoon, requirements were met. From Green to Lizard Island, from the Cape across Karumba, from the Lockhart River precinct to the tip of Umbacumba, through its Torres Strait constituents from Weipa to Wadai, Perlingimpi, Millingimbi, Bing Bong, Nullumbai. From Ingenuit to Gulluinku, a fleet of fine repute, from the Cove of Thursday Island to the depot down at Groot, to think of where it took him. Every port and every place, the bushy's heart was happy. A smile lit up his face, because it was more than just suppliers and consumers that were married. He also told a story of the cargo that they carried, everything the eye could see, from passengers to prawns, tons of gravel made to travel, turf to cover lawns, online orders, bricks and mortar, diesel, dirt and rag, and one solitary goldfish in a 5-cent plastic bag. As a reminder of the reason that defined this great success, it's the pride of grassroots people. Nothing more, nothing less. Blokes like Bob O'Halloran, who sailed their way through strife as simple, strong custodians and champions of life, with other humble workers of all colour, race and creed, saluting that which flows within the blood that good folk bleed, investing in community, in families and careers. The bushy kept the faith and tipped his hat to 30 years. Faithful to the fight at hand, and faithful to his vision, faithful in the presence of the doubt and the derision, faithful to his loyal crew and everything they moved, faithful to the future of the lives that they improved, and in feeling for the future and in steeling for the fight, are faithful to the passion of a leader like Fred White. A man who from the ground up would consolidate the swell with integrity and courage, and some poetry as well. It's an ever-growing mission with an upward curve projected to write another verse and keep Australia's north connected. 30 mighty years. And as a team of hundreds cheered, they looked back to the ocean, but their mate had disappeared. Gone as if his work was done. An icon of this nation. Gone but not forgotten for his unsung inspiration. Yes, his legacy was anchored. And in honouring that post on a wave of reassurance, it was then they felt his ghost. And for all that lay ahead, as well as everything he did, the sea again moved swiftly, and the tide said, "Thank you, Sid." Cheers.